Welcome to Grand Tactician Civil War. I started a campaign as the Union in spring of 1861. I've taken all the defaults. So let's go ahead and start. At this time, James Buchanan is president, and well, let's go ahead and play. We're the Union, and I'm going to do some things right at the beginning here. This is an early access game. The beginning of this game is kind of slow. I'm going to let you watch it, but I'm going to speed it up. I'll go through the first little bit of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and then from there, like I said, you can just watch it in fast motion because I don't think there's a reason. It just makes the video boring. But here's what we basically have. These are mostly just a bunch of forts that are lying around. And what we need to do right off the bat in an ahistorical manner is reinforce some of these suckers, because imagine Fort Sumter with a few troops. So we're going to go ahead and add some troops, and you're going to see me build armies here in a little bit in the same way. But I'm going to go out here, and we're just going to grab where there's a bunch of them. New York. Put some New York boys down there, and we're going to go ahead and just recruit them. Now, it's going to take them a minute to get there. They're not there yet. They got 27 days to get there, but we're good. We've got plenty of time. I don't know if we need any more infantry, but I'm certainly going to load them up with some cannons. So let's find somebody that doesn't have a lot. New Jersey doesn't have a whole lot of people, so we can go ahead and just take 87 of them at a time and put a few more battery down there, because why not? And we're going to do one more just for the giggles of it. I think we're probably overkill at this point anyways. And speaking of overkill, these are all 12-pounder Napoleons. Those are smooth bore. I think probably all I have at this stage of the game is smooth bore. But that doesn't mean I can't upgrade to something bigger. We're not going to do all of them, but I'm going to make a couple of these. Twice as powerful, maybe? Is that the right? Bigger. We're just going to stick with bigger. These guys have Springfield muskets. We could get rifled ones of them. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so Fort Sumter is pretty well defended. And we'll see if there's any place down here that we can reinforce. Pretty sure there's one up by the by Mobile Bay that we can. Yeah. No, sorry. Wow. Pensacola. My bad. I'll do the same thing. Grab some New York infantry. We're not going to be quite so crazy with the artillery. That should be sufficient. I think that's all we have that far south. Now, we need to build some forts around some pretty strategic areas. Like, I don't want St. Louis to fall because that makes Missouri go into the hands of the Confederacy. And so you have to build forts with armies, and we really don't have a whole lot of armies per se. We just have forts. And we probably ought to actually, now that I think about it, let's go ahead and reinforce a few more of these things, because it would be nice to have people defending these places before the war starts. It's too bad Lincoln didn't do this. Or Buchanan in this case. Yep, there is no reason not to have a presence here and own those forts as much as we can. So you see what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward and stop talking. And if you have any questions about what I'm doing, ask them in the comments section, please. I'll be very happy to answer them. Okay, so I've got all these armies, and it's going to take a while for some of these people to get there. But I'm going to go ahead, well, I'm going to let them go for a little bit. I'm going to just go ahead and put this on 10 for a minute. And what's going to happen is, you can pick one of these armies and look at them, and nobody's there yet, right? It's going to take 5 days, 3 days, 9 days, 7 days, 13 days, whatever. And if you look at it here, it tells you how many people are really there. So we've got time before the actual combat. I mean, we can look at it now, and I mean, some of these states haven't even seceded yet. So we have time to do some horribly ahistorical things to assure a quick victory for the Union. But it's a hurry up and wait type of thing. We do need some of these troops to show up. So nobody's there yet. Nobody's there yet. Oh, there's people there. Okay, so let's go ahead and slow this down. There's people here. So what I want to do, Tennessee is still in the hands of the Union. So let's see what happens if it'll let us build a fort down here in, actually I didn't want to use that army, in Knoxville. So yeah, that's 26. I don't want to do that one just yet. This one is Ohio. I want to bring him down actually, because what I want to do is take Charleston with him, or build a fort around Charleston. If we can get forts all around the West Virginia cities, it should be easy to, well, take West Virginia. This only has 87 guys. I want more than that for this little dipsy doodle we're doing. Let's put it on to 10. So again, a lot of this game is, I said it before, it's hurry up and wait for a lot of this. There's people there. So we're going to move them to St. Louis, Missouri. And we'll build a fort someplace around there. These guys still don't have anybody. We want them to come down to Grafton. Yeah, it's still not enough, but they'll catch up. That's probably against my better judgment. Let's wait out these guys for a while. And I'm fairly confident that we're gonna hold Kentucky, but I'm gonna go ahead and build a fort around Louisville anyways, because I just don't want to. I want to make sure it's not taken. Can't believe that nobody's there yet. Oh, probably they're at the other places. Well, maybe not. not there yet either. Thought they were a lot closer. When they can ride railroads, they go a lot faster than when they have to march. So sometimes you get the false impression that they're really cooking along, and then all of a sudden they stop. So again, I'm going to fast forward until we get, well, until something like this happens, I guess. Oh, I forgot this whole time. There's policies that I should have been selecting, and I have not. I don't honestly know what half of these things do. But I know I want to pick the ones that I pick because there's like pluses and minuses to all of these things. And these are necessary, so. That's expected. All right, I'm gonna, man, there's still nothing with that one. So I'm gonna speed this ahead for a little bit and not say it until I get to the next point of interest. And the next point of interest happened before I had a chance to do that. So let's slow this down. Then we're gonna come down here to Grafton. Now, using this menu right here, we can build a fort. It just has to be in that area, that blue area. So we're going to build one right next to Grafton, which we can then put some cannon in, and presumably that will keep Grafton in Union hands even with the attempted secession of Virginia. Anything? Not yet. All right, let's crank that up a little bit. This actually should go pretty quickly. I don't know how quickly that is. That's what we're looking at, this little red bar. So. And when you build these things, it comes with cannon. I don't know where it gets the personnel or whatever. All right, so Lincoln's president now. Anybody yet? Yeah, we have people. All right, so we're going to move them down to Louisville. We're going to do the same thing. The fort is built, which is why there's a flag here. We're going to go ahead and add some cannon. Because I really don't have. We're just going to bring them from. We're not going to bring them from there. So we're going from Rhode Island. I just want to make it difficult to take, not necessarily impossible to take. I want them to think twice about trying to take it. We have Grafton. Oh, you know, we need to do Wheeling. I forgot about Wheeling. Actually, it'll figure it out, hopefully before it gets to Wheeling, and hopefully it'll figure it out before it does that. So my thought is let's just move the armies to where they're close to, and hopefully they'll get that information quick enough to go to the right place. Yeah. Now, because those have been selected, I can come down here and select these things beneath it. this starts the war. So I don't want to do this until I have some forts built. And I'm not going to mess with any of this stuff right now, because I don't want it right now. I did start building one, right? Yeah, there it is. So there's Louisville. We're still not to St. Louis. We are at Wheeling, however. So we're going to take the 27th Army once again. We're going to build a fort. Wherever it will let me build a fort. There it was. And again, this is all to hold West Virginia before the war even starts. And we may creep to the east of here, because we already have Norfolk and we have reinforced it. So, you know, having troops in these things should be quite beneficial to us. One thing you can do in here is look at the fleets. And I have a bunch of ships that are being built. And what I'm going to do, just because I really haven't mastered this aspect of it at all, but I'm going to start adding the ones that have been completed, or at least in pretty decent, 100%, that are not going to give us too much trouble. No, it's not 100%. I'm just going to add them to this. I don't know why that didn't add. I'm going to add them to this fleet. And honestly, I don't know enough about this aspect of the game, but I know you can send this ship around, and if you got a bunch of cannons and a bunch of ships, more than the other guy, it seems like you'll do better. That's what I know about naval warfare. Again, we have managed to build another fort, which we will... Oh, no, we didn't build that fort. That's already existed. No, I already did that one. Never mind. This is the fort that hasn't been built. Forgot I mentioned it. Louisville has been dealt with, so let's go ahead and do the same thing at Nashville. And we finally we've made it to St. Louis. I'd like to be a little closer up if I could, but it doesn't look like I can be. On this one, as I recollect. Yeah. Looks like we've managed to... they're all called Fort Morgan. I'm guessing there's a way to deal with that differently than I'm like missing, but I kind of find that to be sort of funny. Well, if that works, I'm going to go on to Winchester and build a fort there and see what happens. I mean, this seems like a reasonable strategy. So not a lot going on. As soon as I see new flags appear. Here's the one I already did that one, so... A lot of this game is hurry up and wait. It's a fun game, especially when your armies collide and, you have semi-dynamic battles. I mean, at this point, if Virginia secedes, we're going to own most of the major cities, or we're going to have forts around most of the major cities. So, again, makes for a little bit of a change in the whole history of the things. Did we already do this one? No. I wish I had more troops. I have Massachusetts that I could stick down into some of these things. I might go ahead and do that, just to have some infantry in some of these southern places. 26 Army, we're just going to go ahead and take you to Knoxville. I mean, we've reinforced forts all along the coastline. We've built all of these other forts. And it's the end of March, so I don't know if we're going to get much more done. But we're going to try. We're going to get as much stuff done as we possibly can. Let's look at these fleets again. These guys are 100%. So we're going to just fill up this fleet. I don't know if this is smart or not. Probably it is not. But I know so little about the naval part of this. I just guess. It looks like everything's at 100%, so we're going to send it all. And this is it. And some of those are going to have to catch up, but we're just going to go ahead and send it down to the Outer Banks and figure out what we need to do with it after that. In the boot heel of Missouri, we are not very close to Knoxville at all. Again, these guys are going to Lynchburg. These guys are going to Richmond. Once these guys go to Richmond, if there's time, we'll try to get Petersburg. This is crazy. I'll take total advantage of what the game will let me do. Oops. And I'm going to take these Massachusetts guys, because I think it might be prudent to have a brigade at least down there. And we're going to load this one with a few cannon. If we have any... Oh, sweet. I like parrots. They are long-range monsters. We're going to go ahead and give them another set of the... I mean, I would like to have some of these that can... These smooth bores that can get the troops up close, because if you're going to be storming a fort, that's good to have. Okay. So, Fort Sumter is being bombarded. Hopefully we have enough chance to start this next fort up and to start this fort up. There we go. We're going to go ahead and make them expert. Really? No casualties from the bombardment. Okay. We'll get these guys going. It's kind of... It just doesn't seem like this should really be the way to do this, but south to resist, that's fine. They can resist all they want, so let me just build these forts first. Great. Again, just add some pretty close. Nobody's really close. We've eaten most of the people in the Midwest. All right, well, from Vermont you come. Okay, they have now declared this is the war. So the good news is that while they have seceded, they may have seceded. Let me slow it down. Stop. While they have seceded, if you notice the front lines, so that's a pretty good way to begin, in my opinion. We own a big chunk of the Mississippi River. All right, so what I like to do is when I build these armies up that I can kind of have more flexibility with, I try to separate them out into unit types. So I'll have a division of infantry, and I'll have a division of another division of infantry, and a division of artillery, and I will follow that up with more division of cavalry, something like that, and in that way what I'm trying to accomplish here is it's a lot more flexible when I want to say, okay, move the cannons to this ridge and move the infantry to this tree line and things like that. If they're all sort of categorized already by division underneath that. And we're going to go ahead and what happened there? There we go. I never used the horse artillery. I don't know if I should or not, but I just tend not to. And this is doing its stupid stuff again, so we're going to do this. Do this. And yeah, notice how they suddenly have gray pants. I don't know when that started. If that's like sudden, or if that's just because of the last craziness. Yeah, that was just because of the last craziness. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, that you can change the color of their pants and then you can have like zouaves and stuff like that, but it's just a little bit of bugginess right now in the way this works. And because of that, it's, well, a little buggy. All right. So we have a fair amount in that army now. We have quite a bit in that army. So when we decide to move that one south, that's going to be handy. We also have Ohio right here. And notice we already took West Virginia, so we're pounding into the Confederacy before the game even started, and then when the war actually started, everything's occupied. Again, we need to add to these guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get most of these guys from Ohio if we can, and we should be able to because that's where we're at, and they have a lot of people. All right, so we've already pushed Hampton's division away. Major Union victory already, major defeat, and we have Richmond because we had that fort there. And they are running. I mean, this is kind of silly, the way that I approach this, but I'd say we're doing pretty well. Here's that garrison. We need to add troops to it. And we'll go ahead and add some cannon. I don't have enough there. Somebody from the Midwest. Iowa. I don't really think that we're going to be having too much trouble over here, but I don't want to regret not holding Memphis. And I guess the next place we shoot down to is Greenville. We're going to take that port. All right. That's probably, as I look at this, that's probably about all we really should do for this video, and we'll have a part 2 to this later. I'd say our work has been pretty impressive so far, and we'll see what happens next. That's crazy. All right, April 18th, 1861. We're definitely doing better than history. All right, well, I will see you next time. If you like this video, please subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.